Hello everybody and welcome back to Vintage Thursday. So in today's video you will see behind us we have our 35. This is my original 35, not the 35X. And the purposes of today's video, we are going to give this I'm going to call it a spring service, but it's just a general oil change, filter change, change the fuel filter, give everything a grease round, because myself and this tractor are booked into a plough match soon. So we're just going to get it ready and prepared for the upcoming, I would like to say, the ploughing season. I'm only booked into one at the minute. I'm hopeful there's two more going to happen, whereas the potential for two more matches. I haven't heard if they're running yet or not. It all depends on land availability and stuff. Yeah, so we're certainly booked into one. So what we need to do is get this tractor ready. Now, normally I would be ploughing with the Ferguson TEF20 and the Ferguson plough that is the subject of the ongoing kind of little refurb project. We've done the front axle pin and the front axle and all that. I'm not confident in having that project finished in time for the match. Okay, so that is why we are preparing to take something else. At the point of filming this, I think we're 5 weeks away from the match, and I have a lot still to do on the Ferguson, and it's just not going to get done in time. So we're going to take this one. So first thing we're going to do, so I have run it around, the engine is warm, drop out the engine oil first, and then while that's draining we'll change the fuel system. We will see to the fuel system, new filter, and clean out the sediment bowl around this side. Now I need to say this is not an original 35 engine. It should have two fuel filters, a primary and a secondary. This has just got the one, and this is actually a replica 135 type engine. It's a new block, replacement sump, replacement head. Everything on the engine was new in 2016. I changed all that, so that was way before YouTube, so none of that got filmed. Yeah, so this isn't a genuine 35 engine, so you will notice some differences if you've got a 35 and you think, that's a little bit different to my engine. That's why. But it won't affect what we're going to do. You know, all the oil change and the filter change is all exactly the same. So the reason for the engine change was when I bought this tractor in, I think 2015, I think I bought this one. It had already had a 135 type engine in it, direct injection. But it wasn't out of a tractor, it was out of a road compressor, because the original engine of this, I think a rod conrod come through the block. I think that's what happened. So that is why the compressor engine got put in. But as you can imagine, a road compressor engine does way more hours than a tractor ever does, so the engine was probably worn out before it went in, never mind when I got it. The reason for me changing it was because one of the head studs on this front corner, there was no thread left in the block, and I took the one I got it, I took the head off for some reason, I forget what it was now, and I couldn't torque the head down because the studs were stripped, because those threads were stripped out. So I set to searching for a new engine. Couldn't find a 35 one at the time, but I did find a brand new old stock short motor for a 135. So I bought that. For those that aren't aware, short motor is a new block, new pistons, new liners, new crankshaft and shells, all assembled, ready to go. And then I had to add a sump and a head, and I transferred all the fuel injection system across from the compressor engine. Yeah, so that's what I've done. That is why it doesn't match. Anyway, right, let's drain the oil out and get going on today's video proper. So like we said earlier on, the oil is warm, just to make it nice and easy to drain down out of the engine. So while the oil is draining, we will turn our attention to the fuel. Okay, so this is the tap here under the tank. Just screw him in to turn it off. And then we can come around to the bowl. We do have a bucket on the floor to catch any drips. There shouldn't be too many, as long as you don't spill much. Just hinge to clamp out the way. There's a little bit of sediment in the bottom, but it's not too bad. My tap's not shut off, we've got a little drip. That's better, it wasn't quite shut. Should have screwed a bit harder. Anyway, right. Our bowl is now clean. Now up in the top is a gauze filter. Okay, that it might not show on the camera, but it is clean. So we'll just give them a wipe. Sometimes they need a little wash out, a bit of brake cleaner or something, but that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. So the hole is off center, so we've got to make sure we line that up properly when he goes back in. Put the O-ring back. And then the bowl back on. There we go, easy as all that. We'll give him a little wipe just so we can check for leaks later on when we turn the tap back on. Right, so all drained out now. Just give him a wipe round. Bung back in. And that's it, refill time. Right, filter off next. So we'll give him a wipe round to make sure everything's clean. Don't want no bits of dirt dropping in. Put our drain pan underneath. Undo the bolt. We have our filter. Let's go and give the bowl a good clean out in the parts washer. So once the bowl has gone out of the way, we need to change the O-ring around the top. Pull him out with a screwdriver somehow. There he is. And then put in the new one, hoping that it will stay there on its own. Without being twisted. Because that will guarantee a leak then. So now we have our clean canister. What is inside is a spring and a plate to keep the filter pushed up tight against the top of the housing, and there should be a little ring to stop it all falling apart. That's what we're going to do. Take our new filter, put that on. Now you can see the spring doing its thing. Now this is the controversial bit. I have always, and I think I always will, pre-fill the filter. Somebody said you shouldn't pre-fill the filter because it hasn't been filtered, and you should let the oil pump push it through, put it around the outside of the filter, then it goes through the filter before it goes around the engine. I can see the reasoning behind doing that, but I think it's better to have instant oil pressure than wait for this to fill up before your bearings get any oil. But do what you want to do, but I'm going to do it this way. So leave us a comment. Which way do you do it? I think I'm going to stick with pre-filling. It is new oil out of a clean jug. It'd be ideal if I could pour it around the edge of the filter, but I just can't do that. So we're going to pre-fill the filter. It's much easier to fill the modern canister filters than these old Elements. Right, that's close to full. Oh, that is full. Right, we're leaking a little. Then we'll just screw that up on. There we go, all refitted, tightened up, ready to go. So we'll wipe around the filler cap. Again, this is different to what you would find on a 35. Again, I think this is a longer filler pipe than what you would find on a 35, because this is probably what came on the road compressor. But anyway, this is where you put your oil. Now then, so this is the oil grade we're using, 15W40. It does seem to have got very tricky the last few years buying oil. There is many different grades within one grade, if you like. You know, 15W40 has lots of specifications, it seems. I don't know anything about oil. I bought this on the recommendation of the supplier, so you know, don't take what I've used for granted. Ask your supplier, because it's very difficult. All these modern emission controlled engines nowadays, a lot of them need different oils. I know our Kubota needs different oils to what the Massey Fergusons take, because of the emissions differences in them. Obviously this rock oil, say this particular grade, is designed more for an older style of engine, which is what's in here, and I'm willing, and I just took their advice and bought that. So right, anyway, let's get filled up, and then we just have to change the fuel filter. Right, we're getting close now. So this is, yeah, we're there. You might not see that. It's very hard to see new oil on a dipstick, never mind on the camera. But right, we're on maximum. What we'll do, we'll let that sit for a bit while we change the fuel filter. We'll recheck before we go for the start, just while it settles itself out. So we will once again give the filter a wipe around before we start. Quite a lot of sludge in the bottom of the bowl. A little bit of sludge on the filter, nothing drastic. Right, we'll go and give we'll tip that out. Let's go and give the bowl a wipe, get rid of all that mankiness. There we go, that's cleaner. So just like the oil filter, we will change the rubber, we'll change the O-rings. Little one around the centre, and then the big one on the edge. New ones in the packet. Okay. Yeah. Trying to be prepared. Trying to be prepared a month ahead. Oh, not very. I still got it, but I won't use that. I've got the ransoms. We get nice, genuine Perkins filter. Just tight enough, but not too tight. So there is no bleed screw on top of this filter housing, which is quite unusual. So we're just going to slacken off the return union. That should let the air out. Right, tap back on. We're ready to bleed. So we'll pump the lift pump, fill up the bowl first. Oh, there he goes. Right, I'm going to carry on pumping. You shout when it comes out of there, because I'm the other side. Right, we've got a steady dribble coming out now. We must be full. Wipe off so that we can check for leaks. So next we bleed the pump. No air there. Then the top one. Eee. That all seems good. Hopefully all we should need to do now, we will just finally check the oil once more and then it should start. Yep, oil level's good. We'll just shut the bonnet down and see what happens. So we have good oil pressure, if you can see that. Don't appear to be leaking anywhere around the filter, which is good. Fuel filter is dry and no leaks around the bowl, so I think we are all good. Right, next job, we are going to change the oil in the air bath oil filter. So that's really easy, just undo the clamp, pop it off, pour the oil out, clean the bowl, fresh oil, and you're away. So there's the bowl, and here is the insert. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. What we'll do, take it off, take it out. We'll go and clean this. Don't drop your bowl in the bucket. That wasn't a good move. Anyway, we're going to go and clean it anyway. Not too much sediment in the bottom, so that's good. Right, so now we fresh oil in there. It does say here Not sure if you can see that. It says exact oil level to the ridge here, which is what we have got. So we've given this a clean out as well. That sits in there. Get him nice and tight. Make sure all the air goes down through and not sucking in here, which it will now. So that is all the major stuff done. All we need to do now, two more little things to do. One final check of the oil now it has run and been sat to settle down again. So we'll wipe off and recheck. Perfect. All good. Right. Final job. Grease round. Just grease all the steering joints and then we will be ready to face the spring. Just a few pumps in each. Just to keep everything right. There's a grease nipple hidden away up and under the steering column rubber. It's all the same this side except for the brake pedal. We have an extra one down here on the brake pedal. And then the final two on the back on the leveling box. And this one will get a lot of use when we're at the flower match. He's up and down at the end of every run. So let's get plenty in there. There we go. There we go, that is it, all serviced up, all greased around, ready for the plough match. Yes, just add a bit of diesel and then we're ready to go. So we will need to resurrect our plough because I've not used it since 2017, so that'll take a little bit of getting going again. So there we go, right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little one in our occasional series of kind of back to basics, how to do stuff for beginners, really. That's what this has been. So there we go. I will say thank you very much for watching and we'll see you next time. Can't beat a 35. Nice easy tractors to work on. Nice good looking tractors and very, very handy nippy little things.